Hey guys, it's Nikki. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm working with some of the fabric I picked up that coordinates with Garden Party. I got this fabric at Tuesday morning. It came in a set of squares. The squares are 5x5 and there are 5 different patterns. And when I saw it, I just thought it reminded me of Garden Party so much. These are the 5 different designs, and I've been using it for different things as I've been crafting with Garden Party. One of the things I did was kind of make it shabby looking and used it to tie my tag flips. Now I'm trying these fabric bows with it. So I don't measure, I don't do anything like real precise. So these are what they look like, and I'll show you what I did. They're super easy, no sew, and I think they're the perfect addition to add texture to any of your Garden Party projects. So that is what I'm intending to use them for. So what I did, I took a 5x5 square like this, and I folded it in half like that, and I just crease it with my fingernail. Seriously, that's all you need to do. And look at how perfectly creased that is. And nothing has to be precise when you're making these because they look shabby and beautiful no matter what. So now I'm taking my pinking shears. I'm just cutting straight up the middle, and you're left with 2.5 wide rectangles. So now I want each of my bows to be about 1.5 inches. So I'm just using my board for measurements here, and let me move it down. So it is 2.5 inches now, you can see here. I'm just folding it over, so it's about 1.5 inches. And again, I'm just using my fingernail to make that line. And again, you can see it perfectly well right there. And I'm just gonna cut up that line. So the larger piece is gonna be the bow, and the smaller piece is going to be the piece in the middle that we're gonna secure it with. Okay, so now I have a whole bunch of these, which I think these just come out to just under 1 inch. And then I hope a bunch of these, which are just over 1.5 inches. So if I were more precise, these would have been 1 inch. This would have been exactly 1.5 inches, but like I said, I'm totally fine with that. So put that one to the side. So now what I'm gonna do is I have it pinked on all 4 sides. And the reason I use my pinking shears is because they come pinked around the 5-inch edges. So I'm just gonna fold it in the middle here. I'm gonna overlap it just a little bit there, maybe about 1/4 inch. And here's the side with the seam on it right there. I'm gonna work from the other side. So to make it a more finished bow, you're gonna start by bending it down first. So I'm bending down about 1/4 inch. I'm gonna gather it. I'm gonna gather it like a pleat at another 1/4 inch, another 1/4 inch, and I'm gonna finish with it facing down again. So if you start and finish with it facing down, it's going to look like that. And this piece is a little uneven, so I'm gonna use a different one. See how I cut it? You can see that this piece is wider than this piece. I think it'll work out if I tuck it underneath, but I just think for the sake of showing you, I'm gonna work with a different piece. So that seam is on this side. We're gonna flip it over. So the seam is on the bottom, and you're gonna start with your pleat down, and pleat down. So your first and your second pleat are facing down. So it's gonna look like that. We're gonna gather it in the middle. This is the trickiest part here. And you might wanna do this before you get started, but since they all coordinate, I'm just gonna take a piece of the plaid fabric that's got some of the green, the darker green in it, and I'm just gonna fold this in thirds. And again, I'm just gonna use my fingers. If you wanted to get your iron out and iron these, you certainly could, but this fabric is thin enough that I can get it to stay by just pushing it down. So I just folded it in thirds. There's the side with the seam on it, and here's the side without it. So that's really all you need. I'm gonna take this back. I am going to get this all centered. Okay, so again, pleat or seam facing down. I'm gonna pleat it 3 times. the start and the end facing down. This is what our bow looks like. And we're just gonna take this and we're gonna wrap it around, okay? Oops. So now my back looks like this. I've got the small end here and the large tail end here. I'm just gonna take my glue gun and I am going to glue a little bit there, and I'm gonna put a little bit up here on the small tail, and I'm gonna bend the small tail over, okay? So it just looks like this. Then to finish it off, I'm going to cut. This doesn't matter if you use a regular scissors or pinking shears for this part, but I'm gonna cut it off, and look, I'm cutting just a little bit of that tail off here. So you can see how much I'm cutting. Cut that, and I'm just gonna finish it by folding it onto itself. Putting a little bit of glue right here. I'm gonna fold it onto itself to just create a nice finished edge right there. So this is the back. There is the back of the bow. Here is the front of the bow. Look how cute those are. So I love it. Let's do another one together. I'm gonna pleat a different fabric. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use a green that's got a lot of yellow in it. I think I'll use this one for the center. Okay, so I'm going to start by using this, or I'm going to start by folding this, and again I'm just going to fold it into thirds, just using my fingernail to crease it down. The other side in. Again, just use my fingernail. Okay, so then I have my piece here. So I am going to fold in thirds here, overlapping again about 1/4 inch. So you can see it's here, and I'm just going to overlap it like that. Seam side down. I'm going to pleat down first, pinch the middle, and pleat down to finish it. Okay, there's the back, here's the front. And since I want green in the middle, I'm gonna go a little bit further up on here, but I'll do the same concept. So I'm wrapping it around. You can still see that I've got a shorter tail and a longer tail. Make sure that that's folded nice. Okay, I'm gonna put that little bit of hot glue. I'm gonna put a little bit on the bottom bow fabric and a little bit on the short tail side. And I'm just gonna fold that tail towards the larger tail. Okay. Just give that a second to dry. Getting all my glue spiders out. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut it here. Use a little bit of hot glue here. And I'm gonna fold that over to finish the back off nice. I'm just gonna hold that in place for a second. Oh. Okay. All right, so there is the light pink one with the green center. This is what the back looks like. And you can hit a little bit there in the middle too to kind of keep that down. So I'm going to put just a tiniest drop of glue in the middle and close that up. There we go. So simple. So I just finished a Christmas swap, and I'll link that down below if you guys are interested in seeing it. It was a Christmas and July swap, but I ended up picking up some fabric for that swap as well. I just think fabric adds another dimension, another texture to your projects, and I think it really enhances your handmade items. So I think it's something that I'd like to start doing for each collection that I'm working with. I was at Joann's the other day, and they had 1 yard fabric. It was their quilting fabric, and in my Joann's, it's all along the perimeter of the fabric section. And right in front of each of those prints was a little square. And again, it was about a 5x5 square, and I think it's about a yard. I didn't say the packaging, but they were like $2.99 each, and I had gotten them for 40% off. So it's very inexpensive. an inexpensive addition to your project, but I think it makes a huge difference. And I just love how these turned out. Anyway, guys, if you do make these, let me know. I'm going to continue making them. I want to use up all the fabric that I cut, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.